All right, last week, Fox News host Tucker Carlson made the following comment in his monologue about how Joe Biden's new war games for the military is identity politics and search and destroy the conservatives within. Here is what he said in part.
So we've got new hairstyles and maternity flight suits. Pregnant women are going to fight our wars. It's a mockery of the U.S. military. While China's military becomes more masculine as it's assembled the world's largest navy, our military needs to become, as Joe Biden says, more feminine, whatever feminine means anymore, since men and women no longer exist. The bottom line is it's out of control, and the Pentagon's going along with this. Again, this is a mockery of the U.S. military and its core mission, which is winning wars.
Now, if you listen to this program, you've heard basically the same thing. I think on this, Tucker Carlson is spot on. So it is not so much what he said that is newsworthy for us to talk about on this program, but how the Pentagon is reacting to what he said. That is the story. The military brass have turned their rhetorical guns on Tucker Carlson, which I think is very revealing. Joining me now to explain what it is revealing is Congressman Jim Banks. He serves as the 3rd Congressional District representative of Indiana. He is also a member of the House Armed Services Committee, former combat veteran, and the chairman of the House Republican Study Committee. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Tony, good to be with you.
So what does this reveal about the Pentagon that they have basically, they were going to do a stand down to address quote unquote extremism in the military, but it looks like they took a stand down to point all their attention to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tony, we've never seen anything quite like this, at least that I can point to in American history, where the Pentagon has turned its focus away from our greatest adversaries, our greatest adversary of all being, of course, the Chinese Communist Party, and instead turned their sights solely on Tucker Carlson, a media figure with the most popular television program on all of cable news. You'll notice that if you listen to the entire segment, Tony, Tucker Carlson never demeans women serving in the military. In fact, he's responding to a press conference from President Biden. It mentions these pregnancy flight suits and some of these other matters, and Tucker's making a very important and valid case that while the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, while the Secretary of Defense, while the Pentagon is focused on the woke politics of the moment, they're not focused on defeating our most dangerous enemies and confronting our most dangerous adversaries. So yet that's the media narrative today is something that's altogether false because it plays into this sort of a full-scale PR campaign by the Pentagon. You've seen a number of official Pentagon Twitter accounts attacking Tucker Carlson for something that he never said, but it's all wrapped up into this bigger, I think, more important issue of where our Pentagon, where our national defense apparatus is focused on. Certainly not where it should be.
Well, the bottom line is the question he asked, which we've asked many, many times on this program. How do their policies help them fight and win wars? Here's my take on this, is that it's as if Tucker probed their front lines and he exposed a tremendous weakness. So they are trying to do everything they can to distract from what he has exposed, and that is this political correctness, this wokeness that has invaded our nation's military, undermines the readiness of our military and our national security.
Yeah, the latter half of the interview with Tucker, Tony, I was a part of. Tucker interviewed me about a letter that I wrote to the Chief of Naval Operations, the top admiral in the entire United States Navy, who has a reading list. And on his reading list is a book titled How to Be an Anti-Racist. And in fact, the book itself is very racist and extreme. At a time when the Pentagon is talking about ridding extremism from the ranks, they're telling sailors in the United States Navy to read a book that suggests that every American is racist. And I was raising the point on Tucker's show of the contradiction of the oath of office that every sailor raises their right hand and takes and then the CNO telling them they should read a book that says that America is racist, capitalism is racist, the Navy is racist, all of America is racist, which really defies the question of why anyone would raise their right hand and serve to protect a country that is flawed and racist, as this author puts it. So Tucker is taking heat for the first half of the interview, again, for something that Tucker never suggested that women shouldn't serve in the military. But of course, we would never send pregnant women into combat, which is the case that he's making too. But let me make one final point. The military has always been one of the most highly regarded institutions in America. And the reason why is because the military doesn't get involved in politics until now. On Joe Biden's watch, as part of this administration, you've seen the Pentagon become politicized to a point that we've never seen before. And all of a sudden, polls are coming out that shows that the public trust and regard for our military is diminishing day by day as they get more and more involved in politics.
Yeah, when I saw the response of the military to Tucker's, and I watched the whole monologue that he gave, setting up the interview that he did with you, and again, I think he was spot on. He was absolutely correct in what he had to say. That's really not the news. The news is how the media, or how the military responded to it, and how the media has given the military a pass. If the military under Donald Trump, for instance, when he reversed the policy of Barack Obama on transgenderism in the military, had the military started tweeting out saying, yeah, that's right, we have to fight and win wars, we don't have time for this nonsense, this make-believe, the media would have gone crazy. But yet when they do the same thing for Joe Biden, supporting his policies and becoming a mouthpiece for the administration, the media is absolutely silent.
Yeah, and the public polling is showing, Tony, that the American people see it for what it is. It's sad for me and you, too, who have served our country and worn the uniform, to see this occur. But for the public, regard and trust in the institution has always been the most trusted institution in America, to decline so sharply because of situations like these is a sad moment for our country, and something that we should categorically reject and push back against. I know that I am, and other Republicans on the Armed Services Committee are asking tough questions of our military leadership of why they've trained their focus so squarely on Tucker Carlson, and why they're not building a military that can fight and win wars instead.
Well, and don't miss, I know you're not, but we don't want to miss the bigger point. It's what Tucker Carlson is saying because of the platform that he has and the reach that he has. But my question, Congressman Banks, is what is it going to take to awaken our military from this wokeness that has them in really a stupor?
Yeah, we're in the midst of this 60-day stand down that you mentioned a little bit ago to rid extremism from the ranks, as they put it. I mean, I was at the Pentagon a couple of weeks ago, Tony, and I met with each of the branches to talk about this particular subject, because I was recently assigned to be the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee Military Personnel Subcommittee, and part of that jurisdiction is it happens to involve these types of issues. So I ask each leaders in each of the branches, do you believe that we have an extremism or radicalism problem in your branch? And not a single one of them would come out and tell me that, yes, we have a problem and we need a 60-day stand down to rid out extremism, or we have a racism problem. None of them will tell you that in private. But the wokeness, the politically correct nature of this administration, I believe, is going to push this so far to the limit. To answer your question, they're so extreme in their approach that I believe America is going to backlash against it and want to return to a time when the military is apolitical, where it doesn't wade into these subjects and focuses on what they should instead. And I don't know that you'll see the result anywhere more clearly than at the ballot box. I mean, that's where the result will be viewed and seen. I believe most starkly will have to be at the ballot box as a rejection of this type of politics occurring in our nation's
Well,
military.
I think, Congressman, it'll show up one other place, and it did during the years of Barack Obama, and it's at the recruiting office. I think what you're going to see happen, where the vast majority of those who serve in our nation's military, not all, but the majority are right of center. They're conservative. They have that ethos of serving others, for the most part, not all. And I think what happens when you start seeing this kind of garbage coming out of the mouths of our military leaders and out of our president, the commander-in-chief, these young people are going to think differently, and primarily their parents are going to be steering them elsewhere. So I think that's going to be another crisis for this administration, and they're probably going to hide it. So you guys are going to need to probe and ask questions when those military leaders come before the committee.
We'll keep doing it, Tony. Thank you very much.